With that being said, let me just get in here and ask you, with some of the latest news that has popped around the HBCU sporting landscape, what has hit you the most and for what reason?
Well, the movement that we've seen within the coaching ranks just this past week, I mean, that was a seismic shift when you talk about North Carolina A&T moving in a different direction from Sam Washington. And we know with the player movement, with the transfer portal, some of our favorite players that were on some of our favorite teams, they will be on the move in terms of trying to find a different team. So I think that's always an interesting storyline. Guys that you sort of rooted for with your particular alma mater or your particular school, the fact that they could be moving on somewhere else. So it kind of changes the dynamic from year to year in terms of what a team will look like.
Very true. With that being said, just about here in terms of the scene and the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. When you talk about some of the things Celebration Bowl has done to roll out the red carpet for both teams, you're talking about an event, a meet and greet, if you will, at the Coca-Cola Museum. You had the banquet last night at the College Football Hall of Fame. Just all the amenities that go along with a bowl game. You and I, we took part in the grooming salon that they had downstairs. I might go
I'm
back,
looking clean.
might go back again today just because it's there.
Relax,
Exactly.
Gets you all ready.
Exactly. But it's been a first-class bowl experience. I think both teams will testify to it, and it has been a tremendous bowl experience for the fans alike.
That's a good point. What is fascinating me about that is just seeing everybody connected. And obviously this is a game that's played between MEAC and SWAC, but it is a bigger scale in terms of the HBCUs. You actually see the Divine Nine, the presidents and member of their leadership cabinet around here and things of that nature, of what that looks like in terms of them getting their space. You see, like the SIEC commissioner. So you see the commissioners from the other programs, other conferences, HBCU conferences, I should say, as I like to break it down. And you also see fans of different institutions at all levels, all gamuts of what I call the sporting HBCU diaspora. So it's fascinating when you see what that looks like, all the people connecting, and it just extends that lens. So it's fascinating to see when that takes place and how it goes around. And so those are things that really get me excited about this. The networking and news and
Very
what you
much
hear.
So. Yeah.
And some of the things, obviously, we'd like to share to our listeners, and some of them we can't share maybe immediately, but we do tend to share it as much as possible. So that's fascinating in terms of what that looks like going on. When we start to get into some of these interviews, it's going to be fascinating also to see the different cadre of folks that get in front of us and tell their story. You start finding these intriguing connections that you don't know, whether they have somebody that's associated with the HBCU or their parents, child, brother and sister may have went to HBCU. And some folks you'll find out went to HBCUs and you won't even realize.
That's very much the case,
Right. And you're like, huh? Really?
Like, wow.
I didn't make that connection.
Exactly.
Why I didn't read that or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's always fascinating in terms of what that looks like. But what are some other things for you that comes out of this that just kind of throws you back, even though you've been in the mix for years, but when it happens, you're still like, I'm a fan to some degree.
Yeah, I think to some degree. I mean, there's a camaraderie among the fans from various SWAC schools, MEAC schools, getting an opportunity to meet some media around the conference, media as well as in the MEAC as well. But there have been celebrities kind of walking through the hotel, and you just it kind of catches your eye from time to time that it takes your media hat off, and all of a sudden you're a fan just like that. So it's a real easy flip to happen. I had a tremendous thrill yesterday meeting SportsCenter's L. Duncan. And she was here with regards to an initiative that they had in terms of gathering diapers for women around the Atlanta area. So they were set up in front of the hotel yesterday. So it was fascinating to kind of get that insight with regards to what they were doing. So enjoyed that quite a bit as we get set up here for our first guest here.
Yeah, first guest. Fascinating as you make the rounds.
How are you doing?
This is Dr. Phil's Inside the HBCU Sports. Yeah. We'll get right in there and get them set up. Go ahead and grab the mic, and which can get you going as we get into this interview. This Doctorville Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is Charles Bishop. It's a pleasure to meet you. Diversity in Aquatics, so it seems straightforward of what you all are about and why that's important. And then we have just a fascinating dialogue and see where it's going. So let's just start properly and introduce yourself. I'm going to start with the lady.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Miriam Lynch, and I serve as the executive director of this awesome organization, Diversity in Aquatics. But I also am a K-12 admin, as well as a volunteer assistant coach at Howard University.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. I like to hear that. And yourself.
My name is Cullen Jones, two-time Olympian, four-time medalist, and first Black American to hold the world record. I also sit on the board for Diversity in Aquatics and work for Dr. Lynch. I like saying that. I like saying that I work for you. That's good.
So Cullen, I have to admit, I was part of a triathlon group, and we followed your career. So it was always kind of looking at your swimming technique and things of that nature. So we were trying to ball, little things that we could do with regards to just trying to get faster in the water. So really appreciate all of your worked out. We didn't become Olympians, but we finished the race. There you go.
That's it.
Exactly.
Congratulations to both of you all. Obviously, that's this. We were just talking about earlier. This is the fun part of this. Is you meet folks that you've watched from afar, you've read their background, and excited about what you all were able to accomplish. But in life, you start to move forward. So let's kind of talk about that story, right? And why this and why now?
It's why not, right? Because there's a rich history of HBCUs in aquatics.
Absolutely.
And we want to celebrate it. As a graduate of Howard University, I saw during my tenure there, going from there were 3 teams in our program down to now there's only 1. And and then doing more research, we found out that there were over 21 in the 1980s that had swimming programs. You have Hampton, you have Tennessee State, you have Texas Southern, and more, who had rich legacy of aquatic history. Morehouse, from 1948 to 1954, were champions of their division. And then you learn about the people who graduate from the programs. Atlanta's own Andrew Young is a graduate of Howard University. Guess what? He was on the swim and dive team.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so you have this rich history, but nobody's talking about it. It's not predominant in our industry, aquatic industry, because much of what we hear is the disparate facts, right? But what we wanted to do as a part of Diversity in Aquatics was to say, yes, we know where we are with the facts, but we want to celebrate the legacy that we have in this environment, right? And so that's why I say, why not? Here at Morehouse, we have an opportunity to showcase, not only to celebrate Morehouse's legacy, but to celebrate all HBCU aquatic legacy. And then also do great work in the community to say, hey, guess what? You can participate and also join in and learn water safety, learn about different aquatic sports like triathlon, scuba, rowing, water polo, and more. Because we know it all starts with water safety education and learning to swim. And so that was our purpose when doing this program and getting it started.
Wow.
I have a 3-year-old son, and as soon
So
as
do
he
I.
could,
You look
well, he's 8 years old.
Okay.
But I was saying we jumped him in the water at 3 and started that process. So I wanted to ask you that same question in terms of that, especially now that you have a 3-year-old son. I can see why you're excited, and you got a little bit of style about yourself.
I
too.
try.
But
You swag. You gotta throw the swag in there. I'm the only black swimmer on the team. There's swag in there.
I love that. With that being said, tell us your why now.
For me, Dr. Lynch has said that perfectly. From my story, I nearly drowned at the age of 5 growing up in Jersey, New York area.
Wow.
And I was at an amusement park fully watched by lifeguards and my parents, and I was still able to go underwater. My mom said, never again, we're going to get you into swim lessons. Now, they instilled in me that work ethic of like, you hit a goal, you keep going. You hit a goal, you keep going. And those baby steps now led me to the Olympics. But one of the things that I grew up in the Baptist faith is it took a village. My dad passed when I was 16, and the men of the church got me to where I am today to show me what leadership really looks like. And so I've been doing this for 13 years of trying to get kids to learn to swim and adults to learn to swim. So, I wasn't able to go to an HBCU. I didn't go to an HBCU, but I really, truly believe in the culture that for us to change these drowning statistics, nearly 5 times more likely than any other race to drown in the U.S., it starts with changing our narrative that this is something we don't do.
Oh, I want.
I saw you.
Yeah, because I was curious about the process of trying to change the narrative because, like you mentioned, a lot of times we start our children off really early with regards to swimming, but a lot of times you will see that I don't know what happens, but there's a disconnect. Whereas African Americans, I don't want to call it a fear of the pool or whatever the case might be, but something happens where there's a disconnect, and I'm curious, how do you go about the process of trying to change the narrative of enjoying swim, enjoying the water sports, enjoying all of that?
Mind if I take this one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I remember in 2008, a gentleman by the name of Bruce Weigel, who's in charge of the International Hall of Fame for swimming. I went down there and he started showing me these books of back in 400 years ago, slaves swimming. It was beaten out of us not to swim because we would rather swim to death than to stay here and work. And so that is a 400-plus year lesson that we are still telling ourselves today. We don't swim. This is not for us. This is not what we do. What a lot of people don't recognize is that right before the Civil Rights Movement, there's an iconic picture of a pool manager throwing acid in the water because the thought of black people in the pool was dirty.
Yeah.
That was one of the triggers of the Civil Rights Movement. Most people don't know that. Yeah. Swimming is a part of our history. And then you've got people like that go on the news or in radio that say, black people don't swim because they have bone density. I got 4 medals. I can't float to save my life because muscle doesn't float. That has nothing to do with it. What changes it is swim lessons. Now, we know the 3 major things. The science is there. Diversity in aquatics is big into 2 things. Well, 3 things, really, but the focus is science, bringing in the science of understanding and knowledge, but also to educate people that this is a life-saving skill. It is not just a great sport, which will help you travel around the world, and, it's not just a lot of fun. It's a life skill. Learn to walk, learn to talk, learn to swim. Because when it comes to our people, what we've noticed is these 3 things. Fear is number 1, overarching. 2 is parental backing. When parents don't know how to swim, they don't teach their kids. There is a 13% chance that child will learn how to swim if their parents don't know how to swim. 13%. And then, of course, and I'm going to hit it, the 3rd one, physical appearance. When it comes to ladies and their hair, I get it. My mom spends a lot of money on her hair. She touches water, boop, gone. I get it.
That's real. Yeah.
It's real. It's a real problem. What I say to the ladies is, put your hair in braids, learn to swim. Once you learn to swim, it's like riding a bike. You never forget to learn. You never forget how to swim. And then from the guy's side, it's physical appearance when it comes to wearing suits. Let me tell you something. Gentlemen, under the voice that's listening to me right now, you come in there with that 6-pack, there ain't no problem about masculinity, okay? Whether you are in a Speedo or not. Just go in there and learn to swim.
I didn't wear a Speedo, but I put a singlet on. I felt comfortable then.
Right. And there's
well said. Jump in there.
Right. There's more resources out there. Like, I think the movement that has happened in social media that wasn't there when I first learned how to swim towards what is being shared and what is being celebrated. I think that is the change in what we are trying to do is change that narrative, is celebrating aquatics to show joy
making it cool
of aquatics, right? Because that's what we experienced growing up in this sport. And then the others around us and our councils and even our board, all of us share a different lens of how we come to water and how we've enjoyed the water. And that's what this weekend's about, is showing the enjoyment, our love, and our love for each other through the connection of water. And so that's what we're doing with our Water Safety Festival, which is happening today from 2 to 5 at Morehouse at the Archer Recreation Center. But also on Saturday, actually, we have a number of HBCUs. I think I know. It is the largest representation of HBCUs since the 1980s.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
We have people coming from afar, like Minnesota, that are coming from there just to represent their HBCU. Like, I went to Spelman. I want to represent. I swim. I'm coming down to swim in the meet. I went to Florida A&M. I'm coming from Chicago, so I can represent Florida A&M. Or coming from D.C. and representing Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got to shout out my Howard.
Of course.
That's what Howard.
But that's what we're doing, right? And so we're celebrating and we're showing the can'ts. Okay. We're showing that we're not just the forward part is, yes, the statistics are real, but we're showing that change in the narrative of who is into that space. Sure. And I think that's what's so special about what we've been able to do, and our partners as well as are part of that, such as USA Swimming or American Red Cross, that are helping us to make that change.
And I don't want to hear it. You don't have to swim or know to swim to come. That's the most important thing. There is in-water and out-of-water activation, so just come on out, learn. We just trying to start the fire. We're trying to get people to understand the importance, so just come on out.
Yes.
I want to take you back one part, and then I'll have a final question for you as well. Just for those that may have not, how was your experience getting in the water and then that translating to the point that you were Olympian? And then chasing a medal.
Chasing a medal.
When it all came down and you were on the stands, what went through your mind at that point?
I can't imagine the caloric intake. I'm blown away by that.
I mean, I think that if I didn't have kind of blinders on, I probably would have. One of my favorite Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord and He'll direct your path, is one of the biggest things. My path was narrow. Like, if anything could have, if I start thinking about my life, I could have fallen off at any point. Growing up in the hood, going to North Carolina, going to the South for school. My dad passing at 16. There's so many different things that could have deterred me from what I was doing. But I think the biggest thing was that mantra that my parents set me on was, you hit a goal, okay, you hit that goal, now what's the next one? And so when I always had something that I was looking towards, and I think that's what kept me going. What did I deal with? Quite a bit of racism? Absolutely. I had a parent in front of my mom say, shouldn't you be playing basketball? And it was because I won.
Wow.
And I beat her son. And it was okay when I was getting that 6th and 7th place, that pink and purple ribbon, and get the blue one. They're like, well, wait a minute, man.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
You don't know your place.
Yeah.
Actually, my place is up here on first. So, and my dad, before he passed, he's like, don't you ever let anyone stop you. You know what I mean? That just lit the fire.
That's powerful.
And I grew up watching Jordan. That was it. So there were a lot of things that could have deterred me, but I think I had a strong foundation with my parents, and I just wanted to win.
Good. Yeah, we needed to hear that story and have that on the table. So I wanted to ask that. But back to the program that you all are championing. You champion it with your heart and your passion. You can hear that clearly. Obviously, the work that goes in here, the muscle that you had to do, the time and energy that you put in there is there. It's my understanding that there's also a financial piece that you all are doing to support in this initiative. Can you talk a little bit about that type of support and grants, I believe, that you're able to put out, and explain a little bit about how you're also putting financial capital into making this work?
Right, we're putting money
mouth of your money.
Yeah.
Absolutely that. And I credit USA Swimming for saying, not only during the time period with the civil unrest, is that we are going to now make sure that we have financial support in it. And what we said was that HBCUs sit at the center point of communities. And so with that, the $1 million grant from USA Swimming is what is supplying a number of resources to up to count right now 9 HBCUs who are grantees. We're getting ready for the second wave of grants coming through that HBCUs can apply for to even further that initiative, because we know that that sets the foundation of providing resources. And then for us at Diversity in Aquatics, we sit at that center point to provide mentorship, to provide other resources from our other partners, such as American Red Cross, who are providing certificate programs so that we have more lifeguards, so that the funding to have a Learn to Swim class or to have a swim team or a dive team or a water polo team, you have the safety part as well. You've got the lifeguards, you've got the water safety instructors, and more. In addition from that, it's also a way for our HBCUs to be able to even further work on within the pool structure. So being able to say, hey, you know what, we want to help build or repair or be able to expand. That is providing that resource.
That was actually a quick question I was going to ask in terms of changing the narrative. Have you found that access to swimming pools, has that been a bit of a challenge, or where are we with regards to just access to pools? Because I was fortunate. I had a YMCA that was within my subdivision, and I could, there was nothing to go to that YMCA. But just in terms of the structure of getting to pools.
Yeah, and that's why we're working with the initiative of HBCUs, right? We know that, I'll give you a story of where we were, and one program we started in May. It was at Texas Southern, and Texas, during the pandemic, closed all their summer pools.
That's right.
In and around that ward. And so there was no access, and usually that first access into swimming is summer swimming. And you're having fun, it's hot outside, and where are we going to go? To the pool, and the pool has those resources. Well, we found out that because of the COVID, it closed the pools. And so, but Texas Southern sits at a center point of the pool system. And so what we did is worked really hard with Texas Southern, with USA Swimming, and to say, how can we reactivate swimming at this pool? And so that is part of that initiative, and to creating that access and resource to swimming in communities around. Because there's over 100 HBCUs across the country. And through research that we've done, we also do research on our side for Diversity in Aquatics. We have we're on our third special journal doing research, and one of them was an HBCU study. And we sent out a survey to different HBCUs throughout the country, over 100 of them. And we got back a response that there's 35 that have a pool that is functioning. Right? So when you talk about, wow, we have a pool, but not all of them are being utilized.
That's correct.
Right? And so for us...
And even if they are utilized, they're certainly not maximized to what you can.
Absolutely. And so that's what our part of that initiative is. How do we reactivate them? Because they can serve what we call, and what we've coined in Diversity Aquatics, aquatic deserts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfectly coined.
And so and with Texas Southern, what they are able to do, they're providing the lifeguard program for the city so that they can reopen pools this summer and start that life cycle over again.
Awesome.
We're out of Houston. I'm actually a professor, associate dean at Texas Southern University. He's adjunct professor at Texas Southern. So anytime you come back that way, connect, please look me up, and I'll do whatever I can on my side to support and make sure they understand the importance of it. So the tremendous work that you're doing.
Thank you so very much.
It's great. So we thank you picking up the mantle and continue to push forward, and it's extremely important. And happy that we got a chance to speak to you with you that. This is Dr. Marion Lynch, and obviously Cullen Jones as well, Olympian champion, getting it done and continuing to move forward with diversity in aquatics, setting the pace in a lot of ways, I would like to say. Continue the great work, and we applaud you.
Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you to you two for this opportunity to spread the word in this light and continue our narrative. Moments like this helps us to further the message about water safety.
And we'll do this. We do a show regular Tuesday and Thursday, all year long. We really don't take breaks. And so as you continue to travel and update, we'd like to make sure that we stay engaged, to continue to tell a story and make sure we get that narrative out there. And I'm sure you're going to have many updates and great stories about how you're overcoming and moving forward. So we'd like to continue this. So we don't want this to be a one-time kind of stop. We would continue to tell this story over a period of time. So anytime, please look us up, and we'll make sure that we give you that space whenever necessary.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
well.
Thank you.
That'll do it at this first break. Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU as we transition and allow them to go talk to some other folks to make sure they continue these great stories and things of that nature. But I hope you enjoyed that interview. Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU sport. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we'll continue to do what we do here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Omni at the 2022 Celebration Bowl. It is a great week of festivities.
In business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories, officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, My colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cavil.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
There's a shot.
Shot that might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us. Thank you.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, yeah, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, yes sir.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab here at the Omni in Atlanta for the 2022 Cricket Wireless Celebration Bowl. And this is a great pleasure for me because we literally have I don't know where to start, but I'm just going to start it like this. We have an HBCU legend.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about that terminology, but I guess we'll put it on the table and just ask you to start right there.
Hey, I always believe that, and I taught all my teams. It's one of the first things I said to my teams every year when we bring a new group in is that it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the football program and the football team.
There it is.
And here's the thing. They were playing football before you got there. They would be playing football after you leave here.
That's right.
They would be playing football after I leave here. So in the big scope of things, I'm not that important. And here's where this thing all came into play for me. I guess my third year at North Carolina Central, we won a championship, a national championship. And, we went from rag to riches. And one day I was sitting in the office and my secretary came in, man. You remember Sports Illustrated, right?
Yes.
My secretary came in and said, Sports Illustrated's on the line. Man, I struck my chest, I threw my head back, and I said, Sports Illustrated. I said, put them on, send them through. So they call came through. I said, this is Coach Broadway. They said, Coach Broadway. I said, your subscription is about to expire. So it ain't that important now.
Man, not only a great coach, but a great storyteller. Let's talk a little bit about that before I let Charles jump in and follow up some questions. You were in football coaching in a lot of spaces, what I refer to as historic white colleges, and then you transitioned and got your opportunity, North Carolina Central, in the HBCU space, and you continued that for a number of years, 15-some years, right, where you go from North Carolina Central, at that time Division II, won a championship there, defeating one in the culmination of the season is coming into the SWAC at Southern University, FCS program, obviously playing up, if you would, and getting that victory and finishing out that season in fine fashion. Then you go to Grambling, win championship there, and you close it out at North Carolina A&T. The celebration comes on the stage, and you do what you do there with the undefeated season, which was magical to watch take place. I say all that to say we kind of talked about off mic. If you would kind of share, if you would, some of that, the difference of your time prior to coming to HBCUs and why you see HBCUs so important.
Well, as we were saying earlier, I'm one of the lucky ones, and I had an opportunity to be on both sides of the wall.
Yes, sir.
And I value both sides, but I spent 24 years at Division I coaching, and I played at a white university, so I spent 24 years coaching there. And then I spent the last part of my career at HBCU. And I'm telling you, hands down,
wow,
my experience at the HBCU, I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. It's a beautiful experience. And the reason is it's a business, but it's not that big of a business, you know. And the thing I said about college football, and I've always said, it's a great game, but it's a bad business, you know, really bad business. You know, and that's the part that we had a chance to really be influential in kids' lives, you know, at HBCUs, whereas Florida and North Carolina, you're basically a number, you know, it's next up, you know, and we had an opportunity to really change those things and really emphasize education, you know. I guess when I came along growing up, one of the things my mom always told me, education was the most important thing, you know, and people used to say, well, get you something to fall back on. But my mama taught us, get you something to spring forward from.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a distinct difference between them.
That
So
is.
it was important for us to go to school and get an education, and by doing that, you know, I wanted all my guys to go to school and get an education. And being at HBCU, I had some influence and directing guys. And, you know, we got a lot of guys that was nobody wanted. You know, they didn't have any other opportunities or any other chances. And we were able to
Great
take those
point.
guys and mold those guys and see those guys grow. And that's where the joy comes in. And I say all the time, there's 3 stages you go through as a college football. But the first stage you go through, you just want to be there for your family and have the things that your family needs. You want to support your family.
Right.
That's what you want. That's the first stage.
Makes
The number
sense.
2 step you want to go through, you want to climb the ladder to becoming head coach, which is what we were able to do. But the third step, which is the most important step in my life, I just wanted to make a difference. And when I got to that stage, that's when college football becomes fun. It's not about progressing. It's not about all these other things. It's about helping people and giving back and developing kids, man.
Sure.
That's what it's all about.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, you know, Coach Broadway, you've been part of this Celebration Bowl experience, being a champion here. What was that like for you personally and for the A&T program?
Well, for the A&T, you know, everybody saw how it exploded after the first Celebration Bowl. I think applications went from 3,000 or 5,000 up to 35,000 over the course of the year, you know, simply because of exposure that we get down here. And I said this earlier, you know, I was fortunate enough to coach in Sugar Bowls, Orange Bowls, Fiesta Bowls, Gator Bowls, Tangerine Bowls, Peach Bowl, and by far, hands down, this is my favorite bowl.
Wow.
And to see this thing continue to grow, man,
Yeah.
I hope this thing continues to grow and accelerate the way it's been in the last 7 years. And if it does that, you know, hands down. And I wouldn't trade my experience of the Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the
That's
Fiesta
right.
Bowl, and all those things.
Sure.
But this is a part of us, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When you take a look at the matchups, this game, Jackson State and North Carolina Central, what are some intangibles that you see with both teams?
Well, you know, I had an opportunity to go to Miami and watch Jackson State the first game of the season when they played FAM, and I saw an outstanding, well-coached football team. I mean, in my eyes now, from the year before and seeing the progress they made from last year to this year,
Yeah.
it's the first.
Different.
It was a well.
I tried to tell it,
that
folks.
game. I mean, because I had gone to see FAM played North Carolina the week before, and they gave North Carolina a
Little
challenge.
fit. Yeah.
They didn't have half their guys, and then they go down to Miami, and Jackson beat the brakes off of them. I was like, wow, this is pretty. But they were doing things that you see. I mean, you saw receivers sitting down in zones, you know, not running to the next zone, and finding open spots. You saw the quarterback getting the ball out of his hand. Just little things that help you win. You know, defense, you see boys getting out there.
Yeah.
You know, I say this, you know, and this is from a fan standpoint, not a coaching standpoint. I watched last year's
Game.
Celebration Bowl, and South Carolina State made Jackson put up the red flag now. Those boys beat them up physically. You know, they beat them up. But then watching Jackson this year, that ain't the same team.
I try to tell folks.
Yeah.
You get it from the professional.
Yeah, exactly.
So they think we just fanboys.
Yeah.
You get it from a professional in terms of really looking at the difference of the team last year to this year, and you see a different maturation in terms of what they look more physically fit. I want to touch on that a little bit with you having to be in both spaces, MEAC, SWAC, and this is not a one over the other,
Right.
but if you can kind of give analysis, at least when you were in, what was the difference in terms of maybe with the style of play, physicality you talk about, or was there any really major difference between the two?
Yeah, let me say this. The SWAC, hey, it's a culture down there, man. It's a way of life. If you're a football guy, hey,
that's it.
It's a great league. But in the MEAC, the football is just as good, but the culture isn't quite the same. It really isn't. It should be because the football is very comparable. MEAC may be a little bit better if you look at the matchups in the Celebration Bowl, you look at the matchups in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, you look at those things, MEAC's probably got an upper hand. But as far as the emotion and all that stuff, I like the SWAC. Facilities, the SWAC's the head of it. But MEAC plays pretty good football.
Oh, no doubt. I think both of them play really good football. And so I've always said that they're pretty even, so it's good to see somebody that has had that experience provide that same framework. But you're ultimately right when you talk about the culture, and I think that's where you see so much of the fanfare on that side because of the culture, and it gets lost in the fact that you have two quality conferences with quality football program getting it done.
Now that I'm retired, COVID set us back a little bit and wasn't able to do it.
Right.
Southern's homecoming.
There you go.
I want to go. There's a lot of different college experiences I want to
you want, the bucket list, as they would say.
Orange Blossom Classic, of course, I've been
That's good. That's good.
There's a lot of little matches. And when I saw Coach Gibbs, Albany State and Fort Valley State play in
the Fountain City?
Fountain City Class,
That's what I'm doing here the next few years.
Okay. Hey, we're going to have to continue.
I know,
We're going to have to make that like a spot-on show for you. We're going to bring you on the show and just talk about your travel through these. And talk about
Broadway with Broadway.
On the road, Broadway.
On the road with Broadway. Exactly.
Anything else that you want to share that we didn't get a chance to ask you directly as you just savor the moment, which rightfully is your time to do that. As I said, retirement is looking good on you, Coach.
I've been very fortunate. I've had an opportunity to have some great players. One thing that I've learned over the years, it's all about the players. It's not about me. And I've never. Oh, I'm sorry. I've always been a player. It's about the players. Now, I lost a whole lot of games, but I hadn't won a whole lot because I tell people all the time, I hadn't made any tackles, I hadn't done any touchdowns, I hadn't done any of that stuff. It's those guys, man. So they deserve the credit. It ain't about me. It's about them. And that's the way I try to approach my football teams. That's how I try to coach my football teams and try to develop those guys that way and teach them that it's about the program, it's about the team. It's not about you, it's not about you, it's not about me. It's about us as a whole being a team.
I've heard that in a way, and just one final question, and I promise I'll let you get out of here.
No, we're good, man.
Okay. With that being said, talk about a little bit of your experiences as you come across the landscape and your former team members come up to you and talk about, hey, Coach, I'm doing this, and they show you family. How does that make you feel?
It's amazing. I had breakfast this morning with a group of guys that I coach at Duke.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And half of those stories are lies. They're
Take it better with time.
Half of them are not true. But you know what? And I'm writing a book, and one of the chapters in there talk about one of the guys asked me, when do you know you have a good football team? Or the job you've done, if you've been successful. 20 years from now, when I start seeing my guys, what kind of men they become,
what
kind of fathers and husbands they are. I used to tell my coaches all the time, you ain't got to tell the guys how you're living. Let them see how you're living, But it's been a joy. It's been a joy. It's been a privilege to have had those experiences.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Any other question you want to do?
I mean, you could probably just sit here and talk with you for hours, but I mean, I remember that first Celebration Bowl, and you made it. Talked about football being a simple game.
Say it again?
You talked about football being a simple game. It's not like you. I think the quote you said was this: "We making chicken" or something to that effect. But I mean, I was always struck by that because you made it very simple because you said the first thing we had to do was stop the run.
Right.
And everything becomes relative from there. But I was just struck by how simplistic you made the game, and you talked about the things that need to be done to not only get the win, but kind of to build that winning culture.
You know, that's interesting because it's always about culture. It's always about standards. You know, that's it. When I went to North Carolina Central, it's my first college head coaching job.
Right.
And they were telling me about how great they've been in football. You know, and I'm looking, so I go, of course, I'm doing my homework. So I'm looking, and I had 2 years out of last 20 where you've had any kind of success. And I said, I didn't mean anything bad. And I said,
but it just
the wrong way.
right.
And I said, you know what, guys, what you're saying and what actually is two different things.
It's not adding up.
I said, I'm going to get this program when you win 8, they get your ass fired. You know, that's the standards that we're trying to set.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about winning 8 games and considering that a good season. We want to be consistently good 8, 9, 10 games a year, where it's not every once in a while that you're good. And I always preach the true sign of a champion. This is how you win championships.
Yes, sir.
You're able to repeat your performance day in and day out. Week in and week out, month in and week out. You can't be good this week, bad next week, bad next week, good. You got to be able to repeat that performance and make that performance better as you go along.
Sure. And that's a life lesson because you can take that in the classroom as a professor. I'm going to use that to my students in terms of life in itself. Day in and day out, you become an expert at your craft, and that's what you call becoming a champion in life.
And sometimes in golf, what they call it, muscle memory.
There it is, muscle memory, exactly.
Continue doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's where that chicken thing comes from, you know. We tried to keep things simple. And I always say, you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, you ain't gonna buy no hamburger. You ain't gonna get no steak. They do chicken.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. That was it. We do chicken. Exactly.
we got it.
Chicken.
Got it.
Exactly.
Well, it's been lovely speaking with you, Coach. In seriousness, we like to keep in contact, and as you start to doing your trips, we want to bring you on and tell those
whatever
stories.
I can do, man, to shine a light on black college football and to be light for anybody or inspiration for anybody, I'm here. All you got to do is reach out.
We'll do.
Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. This is with Coach Broadway, and we're going to go to a commercial break. This is Dr. Cavill inside the HBCU Sports Lab with the legend. I know he want to hear all that, but we're going to put it on the HBCU sports football legend in so many ways. We appreciate everything you've done. We'll be right back after this break.
As for what you do for HBCU athletics, this is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN, we really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is still on assignment, but he promised me that he was coming in this evening, so we'll see how it goes. But we're having a great opportunity. Guess who we have with us now? Anthony Holloman, the 11th commissioner of the SIAC, and I got to see him before this, so it's wonderful to actually see your ascension and what you've been able to do over the years, with it culminating, at least at this point, because I'm sure there's more to come. This is who you are. But welcome to Inside the Sports
Lab. Thank you, Dr. Cavil. It's an honor to be on with you. And as you mentioned, we did do a leadership program at Hampton University with Dr. Harvey. So I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, and you should be, rightfully so. Well, let's get down to it. When the opportunity came in front of you, what were your thoughts? And did you automatically say yes, or was there some?
It was interesting for me and very fortuitous because, we were in that leadership program, and I thought that a college presidency would be on the horizon. And so, my efforts in higher education over the last 25 years have led me to be vice president for advancement and director of athletics at Fort Valley State University. And so when Commissioner Greg Moore resigned and the opportunity, was presented to me, I was excited because I felt it combined my experiences in advancement in athletics, and that I could bring a value proposition to the SIAC. And so, it's an honor to serve in this role.
And you already got off the tracks pretty fast with the new announcement initiative in regards to a different formation for football season in terms of that particular sport. Talk a little bit why that ultimate decision was important.
So one of the things that I believe for our institutions to be viable on a national level, we have to be strategic. And so we went to a format that eliminated divisional play. We added 2 more league games. We moved the championship game to a neutral site. And so what I think that does for us, it reduces travel. So we get our kids on campus in class, which is important.
Absolutely.
But in addition, we're going to get the best 2 teams in the championship game. I think when you have uneven divisions, like with us now, we have 13 football playing schools, but we had 8 on the east and only 5 on the west. And so over a 28-year period, Tuskegee University had won 11 championships, Albany State had won 11, Miles had won 4, and Fort Valley had won 2. And so when you have 13 football playing schools, that's not a lot of competitive balance. And so I want to see the best teams rise to the top, and I want everybody to play everybody. And so if you're a 4-year student athlete, you're going to play at every stadium in your 4 years.
Awesome.
And so that was important to us.
One follow-up question before I pass it with Charles. When you look at 13th members, that always everybody wants to talk about expansion, but how important or how do you go about expansion to see if you want to get to 14 or even beyond that?
So
or maybe some
one of the things that I think is important for us is to, have a strategic vision.
Okay.
And so my job is to create a vision for the Council of Presidents so they can, determine whether it makes sense for us to add new members. I do think expansion is on the horizon, but it's going to be strategic. We won't, make decisions without looking at the value proposition of the institutions that we're interested in, that are interested in the SIAC. You want an even number, but I don't think that it's imperative. But I did build into my new scheduling model is we play 4 common opponents each year, and then you rotate the other 8 schools over a 4-year period. Now, if we added another institution that plays football, then you'd have 3 and 5.
Okay.
You have 3 that you keep and 5, so we don't have to blow up the schedule, if we add another member institution.
That's important contextually, and that's what you call strategic planning seriously at that moment. Go ahead, Charles.
I wanted to ask this question, especially in regards to looking at the SIAC. Talk a little bit about the uniqueness of the conference and the things that you saw in terms of that strategic vision, in terms of pushing this conference forward. A conference that spans from Alabama to the Carolinas. It's nestled in this southeast region, this football crazed region. But what are some of the things that you really were looking at with regards to bringing to this conference that could push it forward?
So I think one of the things that the SIAC has an advantage on most conferences is that we combine public institutions with private institutions. So you have the brand recognition of Morehouse College and Tuskegee University, but then you have the strong state institutions, Central State of Ohio, Kentucky State, Albany State, Fort Valley State, Savannah State. So we have a big mix of public and private institutions.
No doubt. Great SIAC championship with regards to Benedict. Talk a little bit about that program itself, Chennis Berry, and what he's brought to that program.
Coach Berry has done a phenomenal job building that program in 2 short years. Had them with the #1 regional ranking going into the playoffs, undefeated 11-0 season, and so I think Benedict has thrown the gauntlet down for the other teams in our league.
Sure.
And so it's great to see somebody challenge Albany State and Tuskegee. And so I think Coach Berry is here to stay.
No doubt.
Good point. I really want to continue this, and as I promised, I want to get you on the show
yes.
so we can really get into some dialogue.
Exactly.
Because when you talk about strategy and what that looks like from a commissioner's perspective, I think it's fascinating. We want to get into some questions in terms of Division II. What does that look like? What do you have on the rise? And obviously you have the ESPN deal, but more television and things of that nature. But final part of this, anything that we haven't said that you really want to get on the table in terms of the SIAC?
I think the most important thing is that I think the HBCU commissioners, Dr. McClellan, Commissioner McWilliams, Commissioner Stills, we're a collective. And I think, we have 47 institutions amongst our 4 leagues. And so we're working together to create more opportunities like the Celebration Bowl for our institutions. And so we are the beneficiary of, platforms like this where we are able to get our messages out.
Absolutely.
So we want to thank you all for the work that you're doing, and I'm excited to serve as a commissioner at SIAC.
No doubt about it. This is Anthony Holloman, the 11th commissioner of the SIAC, doing great work. And we're going to make sure that you hear from him more often. He's promised me that he'll, whenever his schedule allows, that he'll come on the platform and continue to give updates, particularly the great work that he is doing and what is in front of him. I think the SIAC made an excellent choice in terms of their leadership, and you see it immediately. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We'll be right back after this break, and we'll get into some more discussions. We'll see if we can get you into some of the actual players and talk about that a little bit.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, as we're live here at the Omni 2022 Cricket Wireless Celebration Bowl, and we have North Carolina Central Eagles in front of us. We have our offensive coordinator, coach here, Matt Leone, and running back that was all conference first team in front of us as well, getting it done with Collier. They say Mookie. Is that appropriate for me to use that name?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
Okay,
yes,
I just want to make sure because I understand it's Latrell, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I like to make sure people get the name that they want to be used, and
yes,
we're not friends like that yet, but we'll get there. Let me start with the coach. Coach, what is your mindset coming into a game like this?
Mindset is, guys have worked extremely hard to get here, and it's a great opportunity, a lot of hard work, and this started all the way back in last January. So it's been a journey to get here, and mindset is just, give it our best shot. Get the guys and the players in the best position to be successful. We've worked extremely hard in the game prep to get here, and guys know the game plan and what's to be expected, and then just go out there and play ball. We know we got 60 minutes, and we're going to give it everything we got in those 60 minutes and put ourselves in the best position to be successful.
Going in a different direction for yourself, how has all this been for you in terms of just experience thus far?
It's been great. Coming in here, to the Celebration Bowl, I just always was thinking like, man, I get this opportunity ever again. So just to, rejoice and just take everything in, be present, enjoy this time with your teammates, but also be focused at the task at hand. We got a big game tomorrow, and we got a great game plan, so I'm really excited, and I can't wait to play tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask this question. You take us inside the film room. When you take a look at this Jackson State defense, what is it that you see in that regard?
They're talented at every level, and I'm talking about from the D-line, the linebackers, the secondary. They got a talented group of guys. They play extremely hard and extremely fast. We know we're going to be put in a lot of one-on-one situations, and we got to do a good job winning our one-on-ones. We got to make contested catches, do a great job up front in protection, and do a great job of getting our hands on linebackers. So they're a talented group. We know we got our work cut out for us, but we feel like as an offense we match up well with them. We gotta just make sure we put ourselves in the best position to execute.
Sure. Well, Troy, I want to ask you this question. When you take a look at the totality of this season, at any point was there a turning point where you knew you guys were on to something special?
Honestly, sir, I knew it before the season.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed and I had faith in this team. Through workouts, winter workouts, and spring ball in the summer, I knew we could be something special. It's really up to us. After the first game, and we beat A&T, our rival, in the game at the Carolina Panther Stadium, I knew that we were something special. And, we kept going. And even when we had lost to South Carolina State, I just knew that, we still was going to come and be in this Celebration Bowl, sir. Because I feel like, everything happened for a reason, and no matter what happens, that the cards are always going to be play out the way they're supposed to play out. So, I felt like before the season that we was going to be something special, sir.
Obviously, the MEAC has had the most success here in the Celebration Bowl. But talk about coming from that conference and going through that gauntlet that is the MEAC to get to the Celebration Bowl. How tough is the MEAC?
We got some great people, some great players in the MEAC, including even our quarterback. So. We play against great competition, not even just the MEAC, but we play great out-of-conference schedules, and that kind of, that really prepared us. And I feel like, our conference is, the best conference there is just because of the talent and, how we play football there.
Mm-hmm. Let me follow up, Coach, with you. For a minute, I thought he was going to get in there and give us some of the game plan, but not a chance. Not a chance.
You gotta see that 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good when you talk about that. But in all seriousness, in terms of preparation, is there a certain mindset that you want them to go in there, or is it about just doing what North Carolina Central always has done, particularly this season, to get to what's necessary to be prepared, as you said, tomorrow at 12 when toe meets leather?
you know, the preparation's been the same, and the message has been the same. You know, we know when you're put in this situation, and you know, there's more attention that comes with it. But at the end of the day, we're going to kick off, and it's just football from that point on. So our message to the players have been don't get into all the hype. You know, just focus on what we focus on every time we play football. And you know, at 12 o'clock we'll kick off, and at that point, after that first play, we're playing football. And you know, don't make the moment. I know it's sometimes tough to do, but don't make the moment bigger than it is. You know, we're going to play football at the end of the day.
Last question I got for y'all, because I know y'all are on a time clock in the schedule and got to get through it. Tell us a little bit about Davis Richard. What makes him so special? You in terms of coaching, and you in terms of playing with him.
Sure. You know, he's a student of the game. He works extremely hard. You know, in the film room in the off season, he's a leader. He did a great job of running organized team workouts this summer when coaches aren't allowed to be out there. He ran it, and he's an ultimate competitor. You know, he's a tough, hard-nosed football player. When you think of a quarterback, you know, they're not always the toughest guys on the team, but he is one of our toughest guys. I mean, he's you know, he's got a very, very high football IQ. You know, he's something. You know, he's a guy that you tell him something one time, he's got it. He doesn't have to have a ton of reps behind it, and that makes it easy to make quick adjustments, sideline adjustments, and so I think he's an NFL prospect. I truly believe that, and I think his best football is still in front of him.
No doubt.
As a teammate,
I mean, he's everything that you would want in a teammate, man. He's, like Coach was saying, you know, such a great player, and not just that, he's a great person as well. You know, he has great character, great personality, and you know, probably one of the best teammates I've ever been around. And you know, God has truly blessed me to be a teammate with him and on this team as well. And it's just, you know, everything that he do, it just seems so, you know, it's so easy to him. You know, God has truly blessed him, man. You know, he's a great player, and like I said, I'm blessed to be right beside him. So
awesome. Yeah, I look forward to the matchup.
Yes,
and really appreciate your time. And I know he didn't pay you to say that, and so we got it on record. So again, we want to thank you. Wish you best of luck moving forward, and thanks for providing us in terms of media folks, and even more importantly, the fans out there. Thanks for providing a great representation of HBCUs, the MEAC, in general, in terms of what that looks like. So we look forward to the matchup, and we'll be there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Coach, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBC Sports Lab. We'll be right back after this break.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The Cavil Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cavil.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head and Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
There's a shot.
That might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us. Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU. League pass. It's game time. I'm proud and
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab, and I've done many interviews over my lifetime career picking this up, but I must admit this is going to be one of my proudest interviews. So work through as we get through this to make sure I do it in the manner and style that it should be done.
Ice cold style.
Ice cold,
okay.
Ice cold.
Right, make it sure.
We have the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Respectfully, we actually have the general president, Dr. Willis Lonzer III, and we have the executive director, Sean McCaskill, in terms of being in the house. Let's just start it out like this, in terms of what is the importance of you all being here? And we'll start with you.
Well, I think, one of the things that I know that's near and dear to our general president's heart is HBCUs.
Hold it up.
Is HBCUs. I mean, he comes from an HBCU, Delaware State. So even though we represent, the whole spectrum of Alpha Alpha, but HBCUs is really dear to his heart. So this is a great moment for him. I know he came last year, and then to be able to return this year is huge. And then for us and as Alphas, we want to shine a light on HBCUs because we do see the great work that happens, through an HBCU. And I always tell people coming from a PWI, the difference is, people fall in love with the HBCU. Like I can go to a person from an HBCU, and I've done it to the general president. And, you could do it to him too if you ask him, well, sing your alma mater. He lights up and on course. Everyone from an HBCU can sing their alma mater.
Sure.
On spot.
Yeah.
But a PWI, we fall in love with the relationships that we develop at the institution. So HBCU, I always love just being in the presence of it and just to be around it because it's something that's totally different.
And yourself, go ahead, sing.
Well, I certainly echo what Brother Sean McCaskill says, but I must say that this Celebration Bowl is the representation of what is probably a pseudo homecoming. It's fostered between two conferences within football and MEAC and SWAC, and lots of love and appreciation on both sides for the element of football and what the HBCU experience provides for football. But there is no doubt that Alpha Phi Alpha has had staunch athletic contributions in the past. One most notable, not only was the archetype and the architect of the civil rights movement, Brother Paul Robeson,
yes, sir,
who was an outstanding athlete in his own right, and also political activist, active playwright. There wasn't anything this brother could do, couldn't do.
That's right.
He was an amazing man, and we've had others who've come along those ranks in the past as well. Even Brother Rosie Greer just comes to mind, and others that I could continue to talk about. Brother Charles Haley, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
There you go.
Don't, for those who can't stand it, get off of it. If you look and move through my old gold and black, you'll see a tinge of blue and silver. That just happens.
I saw that little tint there. Really? He's like, really?
Brother Executive Director is going to be all right. We'll give him a little aspirin for his heart later on. But I must say, though, this is a great gathering, a great time for us to come together. Two great camps. I'm very proud of what Coach Sanders has done for HBCU football in general, and wish him well as he moves on to Colorado. We'll continue to be a fan. I remember when he wore the blue and silver, and I was proud of what he did there.
Oh, yeah.
And continue to be proud of him setting a new tone and bringing respect to HBCU football.
No doubt. Charles, go ahead. Follow up, please.
We were talking a little bit off camera about your pride in the MEAC. What is it that sets that conference apart? Obviously, they've had tremendous success here in the Celebration Bowl, but what sets the MEAC?
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
you know, the MEAC, much like even the SWAC, it's the characters or the players at the table. You know, you got Howard University, you've got Delaware State University, you've got North Carolina Central, you've got South Carolina State, and now, you know, when we look at what that means, and the traditions and the histories and the lore, these young men come out and provide us with a snapshot of what's happening today, the talent that's there today. I think about my old schoolmate, John Taylor, who went on to play for San Francisco 49ers. And I remember when he was drafted in that candy red apple Porsche that sat in front of our dorm. I was like, JT, this is all right. You know, made it. But even our, he just recently was, his contract was not renewed, but Rod Milstead, the former head coach of Delaware State, is a very good friend of mine. And his leadership and what he provided in their academic standing post his coaching tenure is great, and it's a great sign that the MEAC is still here to play. I know there have been some movement along the lines, but I say that the traditional schools that are there, the history of those institutions, it's great to see it come together, especially when we talk about the SWAC too.
No doubt. Men of Alpha in sports.
My brother.
You mentioned Charles Haley, but I'm going to sit back and I'm a little prideful here. Keep talking about some men of Alpha who have played football, because I always enjoy, you know, you see a lot of other fraternities, they throw up their sign on the field and things of that nature, but we got some Alphas that play a little ball too.
We do. Michael Jackson comes to mind. I mean, I'm thinking of Hardwick. He played for the Bengals. His name just went out of my head. Ken Riley. I mean, I look at even now. Brother Haley comes to mind. I think it was Brother Al Scott even. I think it may have been who was 68 on the Cowboys, played for us as well. I mean, was an Alpha brother, I believe, as well. And
Donald Driver from Alcorn,
from Alcorn. And I'm thinking
Cornell Lake.
Parnell Lake, there's another. UCLA, exactly.
I mean, there are so many. I mean, I know I'm a little bit biased on basketball. You know my height.
Oh, go for it.
I know the brothers who play, who ball for us too. But I just cannot get away from the pride though that I find as I watch these brothers go out on the gridiron, and perform.
No doubt.
You know it. You know, I go back to the history of these brothers. I mean, look at Art Shell.
Shell.
You know, and we talk about being the first black coach in the NFL. It was an Alpha brother. Or I gotta say it.
No one's surprised.
No
one's surprised.
No. But I gotta mention his name, and that's brother Eddie Robinson.
The great Eddie Robinson, exactly.
The great Eddie Robinson, who's a swag of the Dak swag.
I am swag.
When I think about Grambling, and I think about, I immediately think about him. And I've met some of their young players while I was at the Bayou Classic. One of their brothers that's on the team now, and it's so rare I have to look up to brothers. I had to look up to that brother. It just does my heart great service to see all the HBCUs repping and the Greeks repping as they do it, but to see an Alpha man out there and on the gridiron, and also representing academic excellence as well. I think those things are tremendous, and that's a set apart from us.
This is for both of you all. You talk about the service part of that. Let's talk about why you're here in terms of some of the service that you'll be doing in connection to the 2022 Cricket Wireless Celebration Bowl.
Well, this is a part of the coordination between the Divine Nine in an effort to elevate our service to the broader global community, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
This bowl is one of the most highly viewed bowls, as I understand it, and we're here to make sure that we're showcasing that fraternity and sorority people are involved in their communities, what we mean, what we represent. I mean, even one of the Council of President's grandson is a Boston Celtic, grand polemark, Reuben Shelton, my very good friend. His grandson is none other than Say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, and I know
I
it's
did not
Tatum,
realize.
but it's better when I go to him. I say, I want you to say it.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it, and Ruben was even a standout player himself at Kansas, as I understand it, back in the day, because he precedes me by just a couple of years. But it's important that folks understand that the fraternities and sororities still have relevance in the community. It's evident based on the recent election of our good brother in Georgia. Senator Raphael Warnock is an alpha man.
Great point. Yeah.
And one of the things I would say, Wes Moore, the governor-elect of Maryland, is an alpha man.
Yes, indeed.
And if it weren't for us being out there with the Divine Nine, advocating to get out and vote, it's more than just registering, getting out to vote and making sure that we educate people on how civics works. People don't know how government works anymore.
Sure.
So we have a lot of work to do. Our presence means that we're relevant, we're engaged in the community, and we always trying to dress to impress the brothers, the frats do. But in this next 100 years, and we're bringing the IOTAs along with us as they are tracking towards 100, we've got to not squander our capital on petty things.
Sure.
Right.
We need to put our best feet forward. Everybody brings something to the table. They're just people who are just drawn to Alpha Phi Alpha, or to Iota Phi Theta, or to Kappa Alpha Psi, or Omega Psi Phi, or Phi Beta Sigma. I think at the end of the day, we all win.
There you go.
When we can find a way to move together.
No doubt.
Indeed.
Last thing to be part of that, because I know football, people don't realize your attachment to it, and you really train folks at the skill level. So it looks like you can play a little bit still yourself.
Don't get him started. Don't get him started. You just doing an alley-oop. He can go in and say something.
So,
He got no business saying.
talk a little bit about this matchup in terms of what you see and your connection in terms of football at the highest level.
So I'm a 4-year starter at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Probably one of the when you start talking Division II football, one of the premier programs
That's right.
in Division II.
Sure.
In 4 years, I lost 7 games. So been to the national championship, competing. So this right here just brings back a lot of memories. And then to look at the MEAC and the SWAC and look at the talent that's there. See, a lot of times what you'll find at HBCUs is it's just the exposure. There are guys who have NFL talent. They're just not exposed. People don't get a chance and opportunity to see them.
Great point.
So it's not always the best players that are in the NFL part of that 1%. What happens is those individuals who got the exposure at the right time. So what I love is what Dion has brought to HBCUs and uplifting the programs and giving HBCU a voice on the bigger stage. It's really giving a voice on the bigger stage. Even though he's not going to be able to finish it out in 10, 15 years, which a lot of people expected him to do, he did enough to really elevate HBCU football
Exactly.
on the stage. Now you can't turn away from it.
Right.
And with these NIL
Once
deals
you see
now,
it, that's right.
Kind of
Right.
levels the playing field a little bit more with HBCU. So
That's right.
you're going to start to see more and more athletes start to look at HBCU as an option beyond Leon's tenure at Jackson State. You just got to get the right people at the head that believe in it. Because a lot of times what people fail to realize is that you show me a school that has a great football program, the numbers and enrollment.
Yeah.
So you can build
Very
an
true.
institution around sports. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest.
No, yeah,
academics
no.
is very important.
Yes.
But you can build an institution around sports.
Revenue driver.
Yeah, it's a revenue driver. You know what I mean? Because, again, they already had the stadium. So now you just got to put the right product out there. And, Dion has shown that it can be done. So I'm looking forward to a great game. And I know there's going to be some NFL-type talent that's out there that people just don't get an opportunity to watch and see. Because it's always going to be, okay, could he do that at this level? Sometimes as an evaluator of talent, you just got to know what you know. You just got to know what you know. Because sometimes the measurables is just not.
Very true.
So you just got to know what you know and know that you know.
There you go.
What I mean? And the other push too is to start to see more when we start talking about the Divine Nine and the Council of Presidents. What you're going to start to see now is more collective participation
from the council of presidents. One of the things, I have the honor of sitting on their council of presidents Zoom meetings, and you can feel the genuineness of the council of presidents, that they like each other's company. So when that happens, that means, guess what? The Divine Nine comes together
stronger,
as one, which makes us all strong.
That's right.
You know what I mean? This is our uniform. This is our uniform of what we do. But again, when we come together like that, we become more strong.
Last thing I want to ask you as you get in there is closing. You know, whatever that we didn't ask you, go ahead and put that on the table.
Well, I just
now.
want to put out there Fritz Pollard.
Fritz Pollard.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a historian.
Yeah.
It's a Midwest thing. I mean, I was made in the East, mind you, but I was vice president of the Midwestern region.
There you go.
And I've learned over the years, because I spent most of my Alpha activity in the Midwestern region.
Right.
Fritz Pollard was the first African American coach, but he was a breakout player back in
Yep.
the day.
Yes, he was.
Did not want us to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when we talk about athleticism, we have other athletes. We got Ralph Metcalf. That's I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we got some.
Yeah, we got across the board.
You know,
Across the board.
we do everything.
No doubt.
They do it well.
Alphas, you know, actors, man, Omari Hardwick, you know, all of that. And the brother, his name went right out of my head. He played Morpheus in the last Matrix. You know, and he played Manta. I didn't know he was an Alpha brother. But he was convincing when in Aquaman. I was like, hey, you know. So I was an Alpha man.
And there goes the Alpha man. That's a superhero too.
You know, Donald Trump up here trying to put on a uniform. That's our game. We, all of the Divine Nine, really. But I'll just say this, that we are committed, not only Alpha Phi Alpha, but even the council, the presidents and the Divine Nine, to continuing to be that catalyst for leadership, for movement, for progressive thinking in the black community, but in the world.
No doubt.
We have moved it to the global stage. I'm so proud of many of our brothers who are leading, but all across the Divine, and the fact that there's an AKA who's the president of the Raven.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not mad.
Not at all.
No.
I'm not mad.
That's
right.
I'd love to see it happen. Even our own chairwoman, Sister Rashida Liberty, is delving into the NFL agent space as well. So give her some credit for being cutting edge. So it's been an honor, brothers, to
Yeah, all our
Very much so.
appreciate that Delta Phi representative.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, Theta Gamma, wherever y'all put that out there.
Theta Gamma's got an impressive record, man. You all do a great job with making engineers.
I don't put that out. I'm not being to go home.
I'm proud of all of the brothers from Theta Gamma and Delta Phi. Very proud to be the general president of Alpha.
And active in Alpha Eta Lambda, so.
That's right. We're not only the sitting regional vice president is, but our pastor and president, Harry Johnson.
There you go.
A couple of other pastors, regional vice presidents as well. You Alpha celebrity over there, aren't you?
I'm trying to keep it. But I really, like I said, it was going to be hard for me to get through, but I think we did a decent job there when the black and old gold come together with such leadership. And we're in good shape with both of y'all at the top of the helm. And that's Brother General President Dr. Willis L. Lonzo III and Brother Executive Director Brother Sean McCaskill. Getting it done for us. Continue the great work. So proud and hold up the light high.
Always appreciate you. Always appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We'll go to our last break and we'll bring in our next team that will take it over from us and get into some more interviews.
2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cavil.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
There's a shot.
Shot
to
that
right.
might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. All you guys at BCSN, we really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us. Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN, we really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Impress the analytic data with your hip-hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want to lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
Hey man, we are back, man. Filling in. Doc and Charles did an amazing job this morning, man. A lot of people coming in, but what we have now, man, we got the X's and O's with BJ Jones and Joshua Sims.
Absolutely, man. Well, for everybody, man, this is your first time getting an opportunity to see us, we take a different approach. Taking really from a coaching perspective, and guys who play the game, guys who coach the game, and who understand the X's and O's of the game, man. And so we take an opportunity on our show to be able to really kind of break down the small nuances of football and what you can expect and see inside of a game on a pre-scale perspective. And then after the game, we break it down so you can be able to see what happened in the game and what transpired from what we already kind of saw on the film, and then see how that comes out in the game. Would you say, B?
Yeah, and hey, we ain't two old stuffy coaches either. We're going to have fun with it. And we're definitely going to have fun with it. Yeah. But, hey, man, this is the debut here at the Celebration Bowl, man.
World premiere, dog.
Hey, we're excited.
Absolutely, man. So, obviously, man, this is the big game weekend, championship weekend. We have the opportunity really to display and really kind of premiere this show during championship weekend. And we are intentional about calling it championship weekend.
Yeah.
We really see it as an opportunity for the two best teams in HBCU, and they're going for the Black National Championship. And so, B, just kind of some starting thoughts, my brother. What do you think so far, just at the beginning part of this? Where do you see this game? What's the importance of this game, and kind of what does it mean to you? What does it represent to you?
Oh man, it's black excellence. When we start talking about the SWAC and the MEAC and the work that both commissioners are doing to not only increase the brand recognition of the conference, but the schools themselves.
Absolutely.
And to see the celebrities kind of walking around here, and the who's who of HBCU football and media.
Absolutely.
It puts a smile on your face, man, to let people know that, man, this is something that's important, not just to us, but outside of just our realm, and it's a beautiful thing. And to have what we have, Jackson State with what they've been able to do, and Jackson State what they've been able to do, North Carolina Central what they've been able to do this year. To have these two teams here, man, I think we're in for a hell of a football.
Absolutely, man, to say the least. I think it sets a precedent, too. I think, honestly, we finally have an opportunity now where we can really display this game to the masses, man, to the world, man. Today is an opportunity for us to be able to kind of really premiere, our prowess as it pertains to the game. But this weekend is about, showing the prowess that is HBCU football and the overall kind of greater purpose and value of it. So, great points. I'm to kind of ditto that, right? HBCU athletics is just as much a part of our families as you know, our families themselves. This game has been around for a long time. Our version of this game has been around for a very long time. I like to say this thing of ours. And so when we get to this point where it's the culmination of a great weekend of what we say is our championship game, we really get a chance to kind of take it to the next level. And so it's kind of fitting that we're premiering the X's and O's in a weekend where this is the culmination, man. This is we can't call it the granddaddy of them all yet, but this is the coup de grace, man. This is the pinnacle of our sport, and we absolutely get a chance to kind of dive into it. So let's go into it, bro. Let's go ahead and get into it.
We are missing a third, man.
We are. Man.
We got our own Molly Krill.
I don't know pronounce her name. I don't even try.
Man, we got our own moderator, man. You guys will like her. She does an outstanding job. Shout out to Erica Rochelle, representing Howard University.
Absolutely. And you guys will get a chance to see Erica live in living color when we premiere this show. As we continue to keep going. This is our world premiere, man. We're introducing ourselves, and it's an opportunity for us to be able to do so. But once we premiere this thing with Erica, you guys get a chance to see, man, this is going to be probably one of the best shows, bar none, no matter what the sports
The realest, trillest show in sports and guy talk.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. Shout out to the 2 live students.
Absolutely, man. So let's get to it, B. We can start on the number 2 team in the country, North Carolina Central Eagles, coming from Durham, finished 9-2 this season, won the MEAC. Obviously there was a whole catastrophe and a whole conversation about this co-champs thing, with Howard, but essentially they ended up winning the head-to-head, and so against Howard, and really kind of convincing fashion. What do you see so far? From watching the film, both of you and I have talked extensively about the film. What have you seen on the film that tells you that, hey, North Carolina Central, 1, deserves to be here, and then 2, what's something that you can see on the film that says, hey, man, this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this game?
North Carolina Central has done it about the traditional way that's untraditional in the way in which college football is going. When you look at this roster, there's a bunch of high school signees out of the state of North Carolina. I'm ventured to say about 80% of this roster or more, about 85% of this roster is from the state of North Carolina.
Absolutely.
That's big.
Yeah, it is.
That's big. And Trey Oliver is doing it in his own way. A guy that I'm familiar with that was the defensive coordinator at Southern University.
He was,
and the way he's doing it, coming back to his alma mater, place that he played, and was an all-conference player there as a defensive back as well as a punter.
Absolutely, yeah.
Man, this football team, man, I love their tenacity. They're physical.
Yeah.
Davius Richard, I think, is going to have his coming out party on tomorrow. I think the world is going to know who Davius Richard is. I think everyone knows who Shedeur Sanders is.
Yeah.
This is going to be number 11 in maroon and gray. Kid special, we're talking about 6'3", over 220 pounds, one of the strongest players on that football team.
Absolutely.
These kids like to play football, and they like to do it. They don't need the spotlight. They don't need the smoke. They don't need the mirrors. They don't need any of these other things. They just get it done, and I'm excited to see this football team, and it seems like they take the mentality of Trey Oliver.
Absolutely. Teams take on the personality of their head coach. And North Carolina Central absolutely does that. But the same thing with Jackson State. They take on the personality of their current head coach, and that goes by the name of Dion, Coach Prime Sanders.
Yeah.
So, same question, man, as it pertains to Jackson State. What do you see on film? I mean, what do you see about this team in the same respect in which you kind of broke it down for North Carolina Central? What do you see in Jackson State as it pertains to this game that kind of stands out? What is it about this team that makes you say, wow, they absolutely deserve to be here, other than obviously 12-0? But what is it about that team that you say, hey, this team absolutely stands out, and there's some things that I'm looking forward to seeing for them on the field?
Man, it starts on the defensive end.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the number 1 defense in the country in the FCS.
Yeah.
Number 1 defense in the country, even when you add in the FBS schools as well.
Yeah.
They don't give up a lot of points. Southern in the SWAC championship game was a little bit of an anomaly.
Absolutely.
They fly to the football. They don't miss tackles. It starts there. You have some special players, Cameron Silman Craig. At safety, to me, that's the MVP of that defense.
Absolutely.
Because his versatility.
Absolutely.
He can stop the run. He can pick off passes. He's solid. Aubrey Miller at linebacker. And then you have Niles Gaddy, who I think is probably the most improved player on that defense.
Most certainly.
He's always had the size, but now he's playing to the potential of what we kind of thought.
He's getting his big boy pants. He's filling into what we used to say. He's getting his grown man strength almost. Yeah, he is. It does seem like that for sure.
And that defense puts so much pressure on you because you feel like, hey man, I got to score. When you feel like when you're down 7, it feels like you're down 14.
It does. It does.
But one thing about them offensively that they have this year that they didn't have a year ago is a running game.
Savion Wilkerson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Anything that you've seen, I know he's been able to kind of orchestrate that running game, but anything that you've seen here in the MEAC, we saw Savion as a freshman at Delaware State.
Mm-hmm.
Solid running back. I believe he was freshman of the year in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Then he comes over to a Jackson State team that, in a lot of ways, people think that they have challenges up front. And this young brother finds a way to make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Early in the season, kind of struggled with being able to kind of understand, but what you would expect from a transfer coming in. I think he got in a little late, if I'm not mistaken. So you would expect him to kind of struggle a little bit, but as the season went along, this young brother started to have his way against defenses. Something in particular that you saw from Savion that kind of helps to enhance this offense, man. Anything that you would like to point out that Savion does is kind of like, yeah, we see why he was able to help this offense move.
The way that he runs the football, he gets a lot of his yards after contact.
Absolutely.
And if you think that you are going to just bump into Savion and that's going to be it, you're going to have to wrap this young man up to get him down on the ground. And a lot of people made that mistake with Savion early on in the season. And the thing is that I think that's going to be the battle is going to be how North Carolina Central lines up and stops that running game. Because if they can make Jackson State one-dimensional,
it's a ball game.
That is going to benefit North Carolina Central
Absolutely.
a lot because I think the strength of that football team is in the linebackers in the secondary.
For sure.
So I think once you do that, you can make them one-dimensional. Now you can do the second thing. That second key to victory is get to Shedeur Sanders and frustrate him.
Absolutely.
Shedeur Sanders knows this is it for him.
Absolutely.
At Jackson State.
Yeah.
He might check out early if you get to him enough and hit him hard enough to get him on the ground. Yeah. So
we've seen crazier things happen, especially in a championship game. We've seen players really kind of tap out. Not to say that we expected he'll tap out, but this game is still a old school version of the game that we've always loved. You punch a team in the mouth, no matter how prima donna, no matter how good they are. If you punch them in the mouth, you are waiting for an opportunity to see if they can respond. Great teams respond.
Yeah.
Good teams fold. And so in this game, you're absolutely right. The opportunity for North Carolina Central to kind of punch Jackson State in the mouth, not necessarily have to do anything special, change what they're doing, or kind of be this new and improved version of who they are, but be willing to be aggressive. South Carolina State kind of showed the model last year, is if you punch a team in the mouth, will they respond? And fortunately for Jackson State this season, I believe that they learned from the game last year against South Carolina State in the championship game last year. And I think this is a different team.
Yeah.
But only time will tell if, when you get punched in the mouth, specifically in a championship game, can you respond?
And the biggest thing is what South Carolina State did a year ago, which was the kind of the blueprint. They didn't just punch one time. They kept punching.
They did.
And being on the sideline of that game last year and watching it, Jackson State, when we got about midway through the third quarter, they were done.
Yeah.
That football team, they quit.
They checked out. Yeah.
There were some guys on that side of the ball, especially on that defensive side of the ball, where you saw the fullbacks and the tight ends getting into the grill of Aubrey Miller, getting into the grill of James Houston.
Absolutely.
We talked about this. When Aubrey Miller came to the sideline and he was spitting blood.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of them, like, I'm ready for this to be over.
Yeah.
And one thing that South Carolina State did, they didn't just punch and watch and see what happened. They just kept punching. Like I said, by the time we got to the third quarter, Jackson State was looking at the refs like, you going to tell them to stop punching?
There's a difference. You remember when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you might see a fight from a little kid, and he might have his head down. He just That's what South Carolina State did there last year.
And they were all landing.
It was all of the punches were landing, and a lot of it was because Jackson State was kind of coming in a straight line with them.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was because of the expectation, because of how good they were last year, because of how good they are this year.
Yeah.
That the expectation was that we can kind of overman and we can kind of out-prowess this team. We can really be the dominating factor in this game, and that served to be a kind of false narrative and a false kind of approach to the game. One of the things that I do expect from this, though, is that Jackson State, and credit to Coach Prime, right, in that program, they have a keen ability to be able to make adjustments year over year.
Yeah.
Coach Fromm is showing you, what I learned from last year, I can absolutely kind of apply to this year.
Yeah.
What my mistakes I made last year, you won't catch me making those same mistakes 2 years in a row.
Right.
Will North Carolina Central be able to take advantage of every team has mistakes, every team has flaws? Will North Carolina Central be able to take advantage of the flaws that Jackson State shows? That's a question that everybody has. We all can see them. If you know the game of football and you've kind of studied the game and you've watched the film, you see where the flaws are. And one of those flaws in particular is that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Can North Carolina Central, to your point earlier, can that defensive line, can that linebacking core really take advantage of what that is? It's a flaw. Every team has them. Can North Carolina Central take advantage of that flaw, B?
The biggest thing about that flaw when you look at it, particularly when you look at the film, is that there have been several teams during the year that have been able to take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
The equalizer has been Shedeur Sanders. His ability to be able to escape pressure, get outside, he has been the deodorant that covered up a lot of stink.
Absolutely.
Which is that offensive line.
Yeah.
You've seen people get to him and he gets out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to 2, you have to wrap him up and get him on the ground. That's going to be the major difference. And if North Carolina Central is able to do that, then that's going to bode well for the Eagles. And then another thing, Jackson State struggles when we talk about stopping the run. We start looking at counter trays, those power leads. They struggle with those a little bit. You saw Alcorn be able to hit them with it. You saw Southern be able to do it from the quarterback position in the championship game. So I'm going to be interested to see. I know that's in North Carolina Central's arsenal. And you have the best quarterback that Jackson State has seen all year in Davius Richard back there. I think that's going to be very interesting. And then can North Carolina Central win those battles on the outside?
Man, that is going to be huge. You just touched on something that is really a big part of what we should be looking for tomorrow. Can North Carolina Central take advantage of the spots where they have some opportunities? Everybody that we've seen 4 games in particular this year, I would say, where we saw a team punch them, and maybe the offense of that team may not have been to the attributive level where they needed to be able to continue to keep, as I say, you punch them, and then your offense is able to come back with a hook, or you're able to come back with another hook. Offenses have to have the ability, when your defense punches and stuns somebody, your offense has got to come in and kind of deliver that hook. Davius Richard is, in my opinion, the most dynamic dual threat quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
His ability to be able to throw and run, throw on the run, throw away from his strong side, really, and take advantage of whatever a defense gives him, makes him the most dynamic dual threat quarterback in the country. What are your thoughts about this young brother, man? How has he played this year? And then we'll move straight to Shedeur, which both of us have an affinity and love for Shedeur and how he thinks inside of his brain and what's in between his eyes and his arm talent. But starting with Davius Richard, what do you see so far in Davius Richard? What have you seen in this kid that makes you say, wow, this kid is really the real deal?
He's a football player.
Absolutely.
I know that when you look at it, the position says quarterback, but he's a football player. The way that he runs the ball, because of his size and his strength, you don't see this much with the quarterback position. But guys are making career decisions.
Yeah.
About the third quarter when they're talking about, hey, do I really want to tackle this guy?
6'3", 220, man.
Yeah, and he's coming at you.
Absolutely.
And he's strong. Like that's when Trey Oliver talked about, how much he squats and he lifts with linemen. That's
it's impressive.
You know what I mean? I mean, give him a plaid shirt and call him, John Henry at this point.
Absolutely.
But his ability can also be his fault.
Absolutely.
Because he has a strong arm and he's accurate, he can make some throws that a lot of quarterbacks at the collegiate level aren't able to make, particularly when you start talking about the FCS level, but that also got him into trouble. That interception against South Carolina State.
Got him in trouble.
There was a few interceptions against South Carolina State where I understand what you saw, but you can't make that.
Don't make that throw. Not in that situation. No. Yeah.
And you wonder when in this particular game with this type of pressure, will he be pressed to make that mistake again, or has he learned from his mistakes?
A quarterback's ability to be able to make adjustments and change and grow from their ability to make mistakes is probably the highlighting point about this next young brother we're going to talk about, Shedeur Sanders. He makes very few mistakes, and when he does make a mistake, he very rarely, if ever, makes the same mistake twice. Talk about this young man and his ability to be able to make plays, throw the ball into spots, make every throw that we believe is a pro-style throw. And where he's gotten better is his ability to be able to make throws down the field. And obviously given to what we believe is a really good receiving core. Same thing in North Carolina Central. What have you seen from Shedeur that tells you that, year over year from last year to this year, this kid is taking steps forward?
Shedeur Sanders is one of those kids, man. His accuracy, he is deadly accurate with those short passes.
Dangerously accurate.
I'm talking about dangerously accurate. Now, what he struggles with is with the deep ball.
He does.
He struggles with the deep ball. But Shedeur Sanders, a lot of quarterbacks, man, they want to be the superstar. They're the guy. Mm-hmm. If Shedeur Sanders needs to complete a 2-yard pass to move the sticks, that's what he's going to do.
Yep.
He takes exactly what you give him. And his understanding of defenses and how the game moves and flows, he does that at a level that most kids don't do at the college level, which is impressive. And you can tell that he's been schooled and he's been trained by some of the best. And you see it week in and week out.
Yeah.
And it's also his toughness.
Yeah.
He's taking some shots this year. And you see him get back up. He dusts himself off. And then when you think you got him, he makes a move, and he's out of the pocket. And now that sack that looked like it was going to be a turnover on downs, we're getting ready to punt the ball, he'll scramble for 11 yards and get down.
That is for me, that's the part where I've seen this young brother, really kind of get better. His ability to kind of tuck the ball and go, tuck the ball and run, know in certain situations when he needs to do so, has made him a much better overall quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any game in particular this season that you can point out to, for those who are watching the show, that you can go back and kind of watch the film, any game in particular that you can say, hey, this is a game where you need to go look back and see where Shedeur was at his best?
Alcorn State was one of those ball games where he needed. Alabama State was one. That last drive against Alabama State where Alabama State took that momentum.
Yeah.
It's like he converted. I felt like he converted like 3 or 4 third downs.
Absolutely.
And I was like 3 or 4. It's like 3 third downs, like 2 fourth downs. And got him in position, to close it out.
Good
and
gracious.
Every time he got there, man, it was like, okay, this is a 3rd and 4. I'll scramble and get you 5. I'll throw a pass to get you 6 if we need 5. Like he did whatever that was needed, to get it done. And I was just impressed with that young man and his ability to be able to do it week over week, and also that Tennessee State game.
Man, I was just about to say that. That game showed me that Shedeur, very similarly, has a little bit of dog in him.
Yeah.
The same type of dog his dad had when he played. Like, this kid just we very rarely see this kid get rattled. We very rarely see this kid get shaken up. He's fairly even keel, sometimes to a fault. Sometimes in moments where he does need to kind of give a little bit more he may not give it, but to his credit, it works for him. And so even the same thing with Davius Richard. I think Davius, to the same token, is a kid that is just not easily rattled, not easily shaken. He stays even keel no matter the situation. He always believes that he has an opportunity to kind of win the game. Any game in particular you saw from Davius Richard that says this kid is the real deal?
Oh, man. North Carolina A&T to open up the season. That was one of those games. I want to say also that Howard game would look like Howard was trying to creep back into it.
Yeah.
He and that offense kind of put their feet down to the floor and got them out of there. And then that last game against Tennessee Tech.
Yeah.
You remember that drive?
Absolutely.
I mean, those were the games for me with Davius Richard, and that kind of showed, man, this is where it is and this is going to be. Both of them have had plays. Shedeur's play was Tennessee State.
Yep.
Jack State was backed up. I think he took this snap from almost the end zone.
Oh, my God.
Tennessee State 4-2-5. Yeah. You have the stunt on the outside. Defense end goes out. Outside linebacker comes in, has a straight shot on Shedeur. If he hits him, he might kill him. Because he was going. And he just slides a little bit to the left. He makes contact. He just bumps and he sets up, and he makes a hell of a throw to Dallas Daniel.
I mean, just both of these quarterbacks, man, I don't think that we've seen a national championship game, a championship game of this caliber, where both quarterbacks are dynamic in what they do.
Yeah.
Both coaches are dynamic at what they do. Both staffs are dynamic at what they do. Both defenses are essentially dynamic at what they do. Key factors that pull this game, and do you see this game possibly being able to open up? We've all, everybody that we've talked to, and even in our own rights, we've called this game a close game. Any particular part where you see this game ends up opening up?
I think that when you deal with championship games, man, it's sometimes when you deal with something that's unexpected, a turnover, an interception, particularly on the short field, do you keep that momentum, that that enthusiasm that you had, or you kind of hang your head? And this is one of those games where if you hang your head, I've seen Jackson State rack up 21 points quick because you've hung your head and felt sorry for yourself.
Absolutely.
And North Carolina Central is capable of doing the same thing. I'm going to be looking at this. The first probably 8 to 10 minutes of this ball game is going to let me know where Jackson State is.
Absolutely.
Charles Bishop has always said that this Jackson State team is different. They've been dealing with distractions for the last 2 years. They're used to having cameras, follow them. They've done like 3 different documentaries.
Absolutely.
They were able to get through the SWAC championship game with everything out there about Deion Sanders and where he would be coaching next year and so forth. They've been able to kind of brush this thing off. But the difference between brushing all those things off is that now the situation at hand, and it impacts a lot of these kids, because you got a lot of kids thinking about, am I going into the portal, where I might be playing, where I might be playing ball a year from now, and so forth. So man, it's that's the challenge of this football team, because like I said, now this stuff involves them. So if they're able,
you can sit down, Coach, if you got a minute. Good to see you, baby.
If they're able to,
Coach Morris, running back coach from North Carolina Central.
Yeah, so if they're able to get through that and play the way that they've been able to play, you got to kind of like Jackson State. But if there's a little slippage there, North Carolina Central ain't the team that you want that slippage again.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal point. I mean, and honestly, from my perspective, I think that this game is much more evenly matched than the casual fan would be able to be willing to give it. I think all of the experts that we've talked to, all of the conversations we've heard from people, is that this game is going to come down to one possession. And that possession is going to be dictated by how both of these teams come out in the first quarter. I think I've never seen a game of this level of importance be dictated in the first quarter more than I think this game is going to be dictated in the first quarter. Which team comes out, which team is able to punch who in the mouth, who's able to respond, how often are you able to get first downs. North Carolina Central's 87% efficiency inside the red zone. We've seen some moments where Jackson State plays this bend but don't break defense, and it forces defenses or offenses to kind of take field goals. Now you're playing against a team that has the ability, once they get inside the 20, to punch it in. Barring some mistakes, we saw in the South Carolina State game, that North Carolina Central, threw interceptions in that game, threw interceptions inside the red zone in that game. But outside of that, barring no turnovers or penalties that'll take them out of a great position, this game is going to be fairly even.
Yeah. Special
teams. That's exactly where we were getting ready to go. Special teams is going to make a big impact in this game. We saw Jackson State have some chinks in the armor as it pertained to special teams. And North Carolina Central is a team that down the stretch show that they can take advantage if you make mistakes on special teams. High balls, muffed punts, messed up kicks, things of that sort. They will be very opportunistic. Do you see special teams ending up winning this game?
Very well could. Wow. When you have teams that are this closely matched up, it's that third of football that people like to forget about. That's special teams. Who can recover a muff punt? Who can get a big return? Which punter can flip the field? Man, playing special teams, playing field position in a game like this is key. Absolutely. And one of the ways you can flip the field is special teams, man, being able to punt the ball. And who makes that mistake and not feel that punt and let it bounce another 20, 15 yards?
Huge difference.
Stuff like that, it becomes key in games like this, and who gets into scoring position and misses field goals as opposed to making them.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you guys. This is the X's and O's. And once we come back, we'll have a special guest here with us to kind of talk some ball, talk a little bit, see if we can get Coach Morris from North Carolina Central to come over here and talk about that staple of backs. We'll be right back. We'll take a quick break, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the break.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The Cavil Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cavil.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head and Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the X's and O's, man. BJ Jones and Joshua Sims Sr. So look, man, we in closing, man. In closing, we're gonna break down for a minute, go grab some lunch, and then come back. But in closing, man, any first half thoughts so far, man? We've broken this thing down pretty good. Let's kind of go with some closing thoughts, my brother. Starting with you, B.
If you're North Carolina Central, man, you got to remain true to yourself.
Absolutely.
Stick to the run.
Absolutely.
Stick to the run in the way that Alcorn did it, and being able to hit your spots. You're going to have some guys because Jackson State defensively plays that trail technique. You're going to get that. You might get one man over the top. You probably get a cover zero.
Yeah.
Win those one-on-one matchups, Davis Richard got to put the ball where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And if you get those, if you're Central, you want to go into the half within striking distance.
Absolutely.
Dead even, and if it's a plus if you go into the half with a lead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to that same point, man, if I'm North Carolina Central, and I am North Carolina Central. I'm a North Carolina Central grad, but remain focused. The goal is the goal. You do not have to do anything fancy or over the top or anything that's outside of your character to win this game. Be who you've been. Learn from the mistakes that you did make during the season and ensure them up by you being the team that you are. Allow for the defense to kind of lead this game, and then you allow for Davius Richard and that offense to kind of steer this game in the direction that it needs to go in. If you're Jackson State, BJ, what do you do in this game? I mean, there's a huge elephant in the room right now that they're just not focused.
Yeah.
And we talked about Prime's ability to learn from his mistakes year over year and not make the same mistake. This year feels similar to the same in that regard. What can they do, as we're kind of giving a first half wrap up to this, what can and what should they do to be able to make sure that they're able to kind of sustain themselves going into tomorrow's game?
Man, you got to be able to lock in at some point. And you've played this game and coached it just like I've played it and coached it.
Yep.
It ain't no instant lock in. You cannot turn it on and off, man.
It's not a switch.
It don't work like that.
Nope.
I thought it did as a player, didn't realize until I became a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you on that other side, and you want to call your coaches and apologize.
Yeah.
For stuff that you did as a player.
I'm sorry, Coach. My bad.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't think it was like that.
He sitting there on the phone with you tomorrow. Man, that was 10 years ago. Now it's hitting me now, Coach. I got to get this off my chest.
Man, look, man. Terrence Graves, Coach Pete Richardson, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
But if you're Jackson State, man, what you have to do, man, is you got to be able to dictate the pace of the game.
Absolutely.
If you cannot dictate the pace of the game, and like I said, the first 8 to 10 minutes is going to be key to this ball game. Who's going to dictate their pace of play?
Absolutely.
And if the pace of play is dictated by North Carolina Central early, that favors North Carolina Central because, like I said, with Jackson State, with all of their distractions, it just had to do with their coach. These distractions now have to do with a lot of these young men and the decisions they're going to be having to make within the next 4 days.
Yeah.
About their playing careers, and I'm sorry, that's a lot.
That's a lot, man.
On a young man, and
we're talking 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-old young brothers.
Yeah.
Who've got to make a life decision in 4 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some of them already made a life decision.
Yeah. And some of them acting like they already.
Yeah, and some of them already acting like they already gone, man. So
absolutely.
Like I said, man, I'm going to be interested in seeing how the first 8 to 10 minutes of this ball game goes.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, this has been the first half of the X's and O's, man. This is our world premiere. We wanted to give an opportunity just to give a little sneak peek.
Tell them how we came up with the name X's and O's.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, we've talked about this a little bit, man. BJ and I both have a significant, I would say almost a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
In the fact that we both played this game all the way through college. We've both coached this game to a requisite level and at a high level. and we are now both in media and
Yeah.
are able to give that perspective. You know, so when we look at how we kind of break down and what we talk about from a media perspective, we're giving a perspective that most others cannot give.
Yeah.
Having had when I put on this headset, it felt like I was back in the booth calling plays. With my play call sheet in front of me, man. It was incredible. You know, the feeling that I got this, and media in this respect is one of the only places where I could be able to feel like I get the same feeling back. You know. And so we've come up with the name the X's and O's because we believe that being able to give from a media perspective this game from an X's and O's perspective, we want to be able to break down the small nuances, talk about the small details of the game, help people to understand and get a somewhat of a viewpoint of what it looks like from a coach's perspective, what it looks like from a player's perspective, what happens in games. Small and big situations, small and big games. What happens during the pre-part of the game? What happens in the preparation period of the game? What does the game feel like to a guy who's on the field, both from a player and a coach's perspective? These are all of the gamuts and just all of the directions and viewpoints and perspectives that you guys get a chance to gain simply by us being able to just give it to you guys. And so, you know, that was why I say we came up with the name X's and O's. What would you say, my brother?
I said, man, it's quite simple. Like I said, Josh, you know, we both played, you know, collegiately. You know, myself at Southern University, Josh at North Carolina Central. Josh was a receiver. I was an outside linebacker. Josh is the offensive coordinator. I was a defensive coordinator. Hey, I'm the X guy. He's the O's guy. And you know, us being able to hit this from a MEAC SWAC, you know, perspective, from the offense,
That's another
defense
layer.
perspective.
I forgot
Yeah, man. So, man, to have a SWAC guy and the MEAC guy on the opposite side of the ball, man, we know what it's like to walk on that battlefield on Saturday.
Absolutely.
We played in some big games, man, between us, man. Aggie Eagle, you know, Jack State Southern game, Bayou Classic. We played in some of the big ones, so we know exactly what these players are going through. And then, man, once we got through, you know, being, you know, the headaches of players that we were, we understand what it's like to go through the week and prepare as a coach.
Absolutely.
And what goes into that, and that gives us a perspective that most will have, you know, from a media standpoint.
Absolutely. Didn't take a break, man. Didn't take a break. I mean, literally for both of us, immediately went from playing the game to coaching the game, and it was a nonstop commitment to this game that I think both of us, singularly and both plurally, can say has given us a perspective that most others cannot give.
I'm 37 years old. I have been a part of this game for 31 of those 37 years, either as a player, as a coach, or in media.
Absolutely.
From a player standpoint, from the time I was 6 years old to the time that I was 26, 27.
Wow.
Stepped right into coaching at the age of 27, and been doing that up until last year, and been doing the media thing for the last. Well, it's been 5 years now. So, man, it's like, man, I've been doing this as over half my life, man, majority of my life, man, outside of the first 5 years. Yeah, man.
I haven't done anything else in my life longer than I've done this game, other than be a human being. You know, other than be a son and a brother and things of that sort. But same, I'm 31, man. I've been dedicated to this game for 25 years, man. Since I was about 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old, from the moment I was able to start playing competitively all the way through college, and then I went directly in after graduating right into coaching, and haven't looked back since. And so there's an appreciation that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you guys for being able to take a moment to listen to us, man, and hear what we're talking about. This is the X's and O's, man, and we're going to take an intermission, go get us some food, spend some time, talk to some players, you know, kind of off camera, and then we'll be back later on today to finish up the X's and O's. But please stay tuned with us as you guys are kind of seeing where we are now. Again, this is the X's and O's, signing off. BJ Jones, Joshua Sims Sr. We'll see you guys soon.
There's a shot.
That might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. All